Wow, just look how beautiful this view is. Hey guys, Randy here, and welcome aboard the Seabee Traveler channel. Alright, well, we have a little bit of a rainy day today, but that doesn't matter because we're going to head to someplace I've wanted to go for a long time. It's a famous architect, Frank Lloyd Wright, and we're heading over to Taliesin West, which is just north of Scottsdale and a little bit west of Fountain Hills. The reason that I am excited to go here is back in my younger days, just after I got out of the Navy, I was working for my father-in-law, building houses, and I would do the houses that we're going to build, I would do the drawings for. And that was all by hand. That was before computer-aided drafting came around. And that kind of led to basically where I'm at today. I do computer-aided drafting, not houses anymore, although I have done that. Mostly I'm just working with a lot of concrete products. So this is going to have a little of everything that I really like. It's going to be the way he designed stuff. He designed it with intent. He had a purpose for everything that he did. And he did this all back in 1938. He bought the property in 1937. In fact, he came out here and earlier than that to help design the Arizona Biltmore, which is pretty famous here in the Phoenix area. But he came out from his residence was in Wisconsin at Taliesin, and when he saw the Arizona weather, he just fell in love with the desert. So he decided he was going to come out here and be a winter visitor. He thought it'd be a good place to bring all of his apprentices out here to help him build it, design it, and have a base here for the winter.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.
All right, we're on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard now, and then this is our turnoff. It's going to be Cactus. And then this will take us up to the museum, Taliesin West. Boy, I couldn't imagine coming out here in 1937, and there's no water, no electricity, no roads. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit harder. If I can find a spot right up here, I'm gonna clean off my lens. Just look how beautiful it is out here. All right, I see a spot. Let me get pulled over here real quick. All right, that's better. Can see now. So this is my first time ever being here, and I remember as a kid hearing about it and driving by it thinking, man, I want to go see that.
I got a ticket in my hand to you, canceling all my plans for you. Don't know where we're going or what we're gonna do. Got a ticket in my hand to you, 'cause I'm thinking maybe we got something, maybe we got something, maybe we got something good, maybe we got something, maybe we got something. I know we got something good, something good, something good. something good. So I'm playing all my cards for you, and I'm shooting for the stars, and you're already in my heart. So what do I got to lose? I'm playing all my cards for you. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we got something. Maybe we got something. Maybe we got something good. Maybe we got something. Maybe we got something. I know we got something good. Something good. Something good. Something good.
All right, we made it. Now this is exciting. Even though it's sprinkling a little bit, a lot of the tour is inside. Now I got the audio tour, and I bought my tickets online. And when I bought them, the last tour time was at 4 o'clock. So I got the last one available, just so I can take my time, and hopefully there'll be less people. Taliesin. Look at that concrete work. They just used the local rocks and put them right into the concrete. Well, the entrance is just right up here. It looks like a lot of people leaving, not too many people going in. And they say the tour takes about 60 minutes. Oh, look at that big courtyard area. Welcome. Check in ahead. All right, we'll go check in. I was supposed to bring some headphones. Oh, look at this waterfall. Red. You're going to see a lot of red today. Wow, look at that. Huge chunks of, or huge rocks in that concrete. That's a pretty detail. Look at that. All right, let's go see if we can get checked in real quick. I see the booth's just right up here. In this area where you check in, I see a lot of these sculptures. That turquoise color. Huh, look at that. I like that kind of art. Looks like a dragon or something there. Oh, look at this one over here. Wow. I like that one with the wings. A lot of steel. And I think this is probably some sort of brass. But I really like that one. That looks like it might be copper. They all have these little tags on them. Kind of little name the statues, but you can see they're all over the courtyard here. There's another one over here I saw. Looks like Pinocchio. That's what the card says, Pinocchio. Yeah, you can see a lot of people are leaving. That's kind of what I was hoping for, and it just got kind of lucky that it was a little bit drizzly. Mirage. Eloise Krista. All right, let's go check out the gift shop. Well, when I was checking in, I knew that they say that with this audio tour, if you want to bring your own headphones, you can. But I forgot them. I forgot mine. So when we checked in, they gave us a disposable pair of headphones and an adapter for your phone. And then also they explained you can download an app to your phone that helps when you're walking through. It'll guide you through and talk about the different stations that you're going to stop at. So that's going to be awesome. A lot of information. All right, well, I am ready to start this tour. And they say that the way it works is to keep everybody flowing. If you just go from station to station and listen, it'll tell you when you're done, and then you can move on to the next one. What do we have here? National Historic Landmark, Taliesin West. 20th century architecture of Frank Lloyd Wright. But yeah, if you just stick to that, even the umbrellas are red. And they do have some umbrellas for you to use. Just bring them back. I really like that waterfall. It's peaceful. But anyways, back to the tour. If, like these stations here, here's the app. And just start now.
I feel like I'm very patient and just kind of speak to you very calmly.
Now, if your phone doesn't work and you can't use headphones, because in fact my son that's with me, his didn't work. So they offered him a script that you can carry around with you and read as you go. And I don't know if that's for the hearing impaired. It's so they can kind of read what's going on. But also, you can use that if your headphones don't work on your phone. Taliesin West is one of 8 Frank Lloyd Wright sites, and that's inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage List. That was in 2019. I'll put a list up for you of the other 7, including Taliesin West. Maybe in a couple years when I'm retired, I'll get to visit each one of these. That would be a pretty cool project, huh? It was in 1927 when Frank Lloyd Wright came out. He was going to consult on the Arizona Biltmore. And it was 10 years later that he actually found this place and decided to purchase it. All right, station number 3. We got some petroglyphs here. These are petroglyphs that when he bought the property, they were scattered around. So he preserved them, put them out here. Just beautiful scenery out here. I cannot wait to get over there. All right, let's go to his office. Number 4, Wright's office. Oh, there's another one of those sculptures. One way that Frank Lloyd Wright designed stuff, it's a little cubby hole back here. A little first aid station and fire extinguisher. But one way he designed stuff was compression. And when you walk into a building, something like this, it feels really small and tight. And then you walk through it into a big open room. And that's the release part of it, compression and release. Like that fireplace. Looks like he's missing, this one looks like he's missing his head. This hearth, he's got all those little rocks lining the exterior of that. It's kind of a fuzzy little palm tree looking thing there. I like how these windows are really small. I wonder if that's part of that compression and release design. Nope, no dampers in there. Got a piece of ironwood or something stuck under there. Nice pretty views. Now, this office is where he would meet clients and have little meetings. You can see part of that's part of the Guggenheim design in New York. Frank Lloyd Wright, architect. Wow, how interesting is that? Solomon R. Guggenheim Foundation Memorial. Wow, that is so cool. But he has this table really low like this so that you can get like a bird's eye view of, when he's talking to clients, you can get a bird's eye view of the drawings he's looking at.
It was never made.
I was about to say, it doesn't look like that.
Look at this old door. It's got a handle. It's got the... It's just screwed in there. All right. So this is going to be the Cabaret fountain. And here he kind of shows one of the 4 tenets of organic architecture, and that's space. You can see here you've got like 5 different directions. They're all at different levels. They're different textures, different smells. So when he was designing something, it wasn't just a building. Got more petroglyphs here. So yeah, what he designed, it was a place. The space was another part of the building to actually inhabit. See, he's got the foreground, middle ground, and the background. Background in the mountains. Just amazing how he thought of all that as he was designing these things. That's a studio. We'll be going through that a little bit later in the tour. Look inside there. I can't wait to get in there. But we're headed over to what they call the prow pool. Wow, just look at that. You can see Camelback Mountain way off in the distance. Wow, just look how beautiful this view is. That's something else. The second tenet of his organic architecture is its site. Let me get a quick picture here. So when he designed stuff, he took everything into account. Like this pool, it's triangular. And he, of course, that's because the mountain's in the background. He's trying to mimic that. And if you see the roof of the studio back there, you have those red ribs of the beams that are intersecting with the pattern of the canvas roof. And you can even see all the way to the right, that building over there. You can see it's the same type of pattern, repeats itself. And that's called the prow pool. Look, there's Camelback Mountains again. When Frank Lloyd Wright came out here, we're heading over to the prow. He said that this kind of, the desert floor kind of reminds him of the bottom of the ocean. It's like his first impression of the trees, that were like coral. So that's why he called this the prow. It's kind of like looking at the prow of a ship, looking over the ocean. Beautiful views, and you can kind of see everything here mimics the mountains in the background. You got the foreground, again, the middle, middle ground and also the background in those mountains back there. Something else to think about out here is Taliesin is Welsh for shining brow. And that's kind of the concept he used. He didn't want the house to be at the top of the site, and he also didn't want it to be at the very bottom. He kind of wanted it to be in the middle. The way your eyebrows kind of frame your face, he wanted the building to frame the site. There's another one of these vignettes. Architects they would use these. This one was actually bought in 1955. It's a replica of an original. But architects and urban planners would use these. They call them a nod. It kind of connects something to a memory. So as you're moving to a different part, you'll see these. They have like 12 of those around. They have like 12 of these around the site. Another view of the Camelback Mountain back there. Those sun rays coming through too. Looks like they have some sort of planter over here. That tree's been there for a while. Look at that. You can see how it's leaning against that wall. And it's kind of forming around it a little bit. All right, well, this is the Sunset Terrace. Look at that old lawn furniture. That's metal. But he would have he would serve the tea to the apprentice, just kind of a gathering area. And they would also have formal gatherings out here in the winter and in the spring. See, the garden room. If you notice next to this vignette, there's a red tile. It has a signature, in any building that he designed and it didn't stray from that, he would put those on the building. Little windows, little light ports. Look at how thin that glass is. Look at that door. It's just it's like 2x10s or something that are bolted together. Hi. Here's another example of the compression and release design that he has. Wow, it does open up into a big area in here. We got these, here's those light ports we were looking at. Just look at that. These big old rocks just poured into the walls and in the roof. Expresses, the foundation. Also, this is just kind of some people that have helped the foundation, given it's an appreciation plaque. Wow, how pretty is this? Choya skeletons and pebbles. Ocotillo skeletons there. Wow. Well, this was the Wrights' personal living area. I just walked over this vent, felt that cool air blowing up. That's their AC vent. But yeah, this was a personal living area, and he would have guests come in here in the evening. You can see the light, the canvas roof up there again. And originally, this had no windows. It was all just wide open. And the only thing that would cover were some canvas flaps that would hang down. Really cool fireplace. Big old boulders again. Just imagine that no windows were in here originally. It was all just open space. I mean, it was designed as a camp originally. And they just, over time, they started adding in the windows, made it a little more comfortable living. And they were only here in the winter, so it's not like they had the hot sun to deal with or the monsoons. Do not sit. Are those like chairs? Footstools? Check out these chairs. These were designed by Wright, too. Made out of a single piece of plywood. All right, let's go check out the dining cove. Number 10. There's 16 of these stations, in case you were wondering. Well, some sort of sculpture there, too. He had a lot of Asian influence, it looks like. Probably the, I don't know, peace and serenity. Seashell. I noticed this, too. They had this pot here, and the story is that that was there before they had all these windows in, and they didn't want to move it. So when they put the window in, they just cut around the pot because they liked where that was. That's a pretty cool mosaic, too. This was originally like a breakfast area, and then they would have dinners in the afternoon. Then it kind of became a formal meeting area. Big old fireplace. Still can't get over them cutting the glass around the pot. I gotta say, too, that white carpet was a pretty bold move in Arizona. But they say that's what Ogilvana, his wife wanted. Just look at that. Look at that beautiful design. Wow. Lots and lots of Cherokee red. It's supposed to represent like the earth tones. Native American pottery had a lot of that red in it, so that's why he likes it. This space over to the left, over there, that was their private residence. You can't go on that. You can't go in there on this tour, but if you do like a guided tour, you can go in there. Wow, look at this tree. It's a cool bench. This is a secluded area. They say that's an orchid tree. Oh, that's cool. Look at all these big... I mean, I don't know what kind of reinforcement they have in there. It's just huge chunks of rock. Look, that's a pretty view. That might be a good picture right there. Look at this old switch. That thing is old. Wow. All right, here's the next station, the Kiva Fountain. This is like a desert oasis here. And it's also represents the third tenet in organic architecture, and that is materials. Well, that's private. Private back there, can't get in there. But when they were designing these walls were designed by the apprentices, and then each section was designed by an apprentice. And they'd build the forms, put the rock in there, hang the rock in there with wire, and then put dry packed concrete inside of the form. And he believed that the material you use should be in its natural form, like it should be little ports, more light ports. Can't really see what's in there. But that's what the concrete should look like concrete. And that's why it's kind of rough. The rocks should look like the rocks. Wood should look like wood. Look how they have this concrete blocked out for lighting. Wow. There's some more areas you can't go past, but maybe on the guided tour you can go back there too. Look at that. This concrete, those are like angled pillars right there. Wow. But yeah, that's the kind of the concept of the materials. Using what you have. All these rocks were found on site, quartzite. All right, let's go take a look at the kiva. Now, they got that kiva from pueblos. The pueblos called it. It was like someplace that was either partially or fully underground. And it's kind of like a gathering place. It feels so much different being out there in the wide open next to that fountain than you're coming into this enclosed area. Here's a picture of them sitting out on the terrace. And there he is. All the apprentice. And this is, I think it's the studio that they're building. What does that say? Yeah, the studio room construction, 1938. This kiva was originally, its original use was they would have just gatherings, and then they would have classes in here. And then they would also watch movies. You can see a projector up there. And he evidently liked watching movies, so that's something else they did in here. But then eventually it got too small for the amount of people that were here, and they made another building that we'll see a little bit later. Wow, look at that. That is a pretty cool rendering. This room wasn't exposed to the elements like everywhere else. So when they would leave for the winter or the summer, they would pack everything in here that they didn't want exposed. Because you got to remember, this was just like a camp. There were no windows in there at the time. So carpets, textiles, anything they didn't want exposed to the summer elements, they would bring in here for storage. Wow, that looks like some rough work. But that's how, I mean, that's what Frank Lloyd Wright believed. You got to learn by doing. So all these apprentices, as they came out here, they would learn how to do the construction first, and then they would go to the design phase. It's more of the studio. They had to get the concrete up to the top somehow. That would be rough. It's a little bit more complete there. But yeah, that's something I think we're lacking these days. These guys would go out and learn how to do construction and then go do the drawing. So they understood how it all worked when they're doing their drawings. All right, what do we have next? Station 13 is the Breezeway. Well, we'll take a look at the actual Breezeway here in a second. But up on top of these stairs, it's blocked off. We can't go all the way up there. But look how it looks like a walkway, little desert garden. And then they have all these, like a planter wall and like another patio area up here. This, they call it a protector. It was actually given to Frank Lloyd Wright's wife in 1959 on her birthday, and that was the same year that he passed away. And they even had it rigged up so that it would have a flame. It'd like breathe fire. All right, well, that's the next station. We'll come back to this. This is the actual Breezeway. And because of the low roof and the narrower passageway, you can come in here and get a really nice breeze. Looks like they're doing some work on it. You get a nice breeze through here on a warmer day. All right, in the dining area, you see these little squares up on top. Those are dentals. He even designed that. Can't see inside here, but he designed those so that when they cast a shadow, they wouldn't be straight. They'd be kind of rough, like in the desert. There's a piano in there. Everybody in here, everybody that was here contributed to the meals. They didn't have cooks or chefs. There's another view. You can see me mirror back there. All right, well, looks like they had an orchard or something back there. Well, this is closed off. It looks like there's some sort of patio area up there. Look at that's a cool bell. You also have another one of these, so that means it's a different type of area. Look at that door back there. And this is all connected to the dining room. Oh, there's another one of these. Means we're heading into like a working space. Well, that's pretty. And everything that he did, he designed with light in mind. The way that when it set, when it rose, when it set, how it affected the rooms. He's putting off some berries. Huh. All right, well, we can go into the studio. We're at number 15. And this is one I was kind of excited to see. Look at all these drafting. Oh, and they say some of these are the original drafting tables and some are replacements. They had dozens of people that worked in here. And that wall down there, it was originally open. There was no windows or doors there. They've got fans going on in here now. Well, there's your seat. That's the only cushion you had. And if you want, you can sit down and take a look at these. Kind of flip through the drawings. Look at that door. Yeah, when they decided to put the glass in here, they just made a little door there. Kind of weird shape. Oh, look at this. A drawing file. A flat file. Oh, look. Somebody at some point put a drink down there. Some sort of Coke can or something. And these pinup boards show the fourth tenet of democracy. He thought that America should have its own style of architecture and not copy from other architectural styles. So he was trying to design buildings that were kind of modest in price and size. And HOAs these days do not fit that democracy tenet. Look at that view. That's where we came in at. That's the prow pool. Imagine that view as you're working. They're down here cleaning up. It's we're the last ones in line. So as we leave these buildings, they've been closing them up behind us. Oh, this is just beautiful. I gotta like the red doors, Cherokee red. Oh, there's a drinking fountain over here. I might have to. I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Let me see if it works. Oh, looks like it. Yes. All right, let me get a drink here. That tasted good. And you kind of remember when we first started, this was the Cabaret fountain area. Look at this pretty view here. Another triangle. But there's another view. Look at the top. That's the canvas roofing that he used. He used it in the studio back there, the drafting studio. That's probably pretty neat when it's running. But this is the Cabaret here. But yeah, he used that same type of roof lighting everywhere we went. The Cabaret. Looks like some sort of gong or something there. All right, let's go take a look inside. It's called a Cabaret now, but originally it was called the Stone Gallery, and it was named that to highlight some of the largest stones in the walls. Look how narrow that is. Look at that hole that was built in there too. They have these window coverings, plywood window coverings that go up, and they also look at the lighting above. Has that same canvas lighting. Wow, this does look like a theater. This is cool. It's got that red again. But this was, they built this in 1950 when the group was too big. They call it the fellowship. When the fellowship was too big to gather in the kiva, so they designed this in 1950. Took them 2 winters to build. Look, these flap up, I guess. Oh, another fireplace. That's a big rock. I thought at first maybe that was a petrified wood. Floor lighting. So I guess in the 60s, they redesigned the seating from its original. There's a projector there, and the way this is built, you can kind of see it's wider up here, and it narrows itself down at by the screen. So the person talking, when the person's talking up here, it naturally focuses the sound so you can hear somebody in the back without needing a microphone. Or if you're sitting in the back, you could hear somebody in the front without needing a microphone, I should say. And back then they put up these Christmas lights. It was something new on the market back then, so they added them and they've liked them, so they kept them up all this time. I wonder if that was designed for that piano, help echo or get the sound out. All right, it is time for us to get out of here. That was Station 16. This has been an amazing little tour. And we're back out. Look, here's the roof. Look at that design. Even up here, rocks are inside the concrete. Wow, and the desert landscape, simply amazing. All right, well, we're going to head back. I just want to remind you, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe. That helps the channel grow, and that way I can get out and do more stuff like this. All right, well, that is going to do it. Man, what an amazing place. This has been so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. But anyways, we got to check out, and just remember, never say goodbye. Always see you later.